Welcome back, Tiny Acre friends. I'm glad you came today to learn some new things about the ocean. Okay, question of the day. Do you remember what 3 elements make waves? Waves in the ocean. 3 things. Do you know? First one. Outside, there is wind. Wind makes waves. The stronger the wind, the bigger the waves. Second thing is what? It's part of the water cycle. Precipitation. Rain. Rain can make waves. Big drops of rain smash down onto the water, causing ripples, and those ripples add up, causing the motion to make waves. Okay, and the third thing is something up in the sky that you see at nighttime. Sometimes you see it during the day too. It is the moon, the pull of the moon's gravity. All right, those are the 3 things that make waves. Now, let's warm our brains up a little bit this morning. Okay, we've got big, medium, small. Okay, we need to sort our jellyfish and our starfish. Which one should we do first? Jellyfish? Okay, let's do all of these out, get all these little guys out. Okay, we got 3 sizes. Which one is the big one? The middle one, you're right. Big. Which one's medium? Ding, ding. Big, medium, and small. Ding. Whoa. Jellyfish down. Okay, big, medium, small. Small, big, bigger. Let's do our starfish. All right, which one's the big one? Top, middle, or the bottom? Ding, ding. Top. Medium. Bing. Small. Bing. Thank you for helping me sort those. Okay, now we've got some missing numbers on the crabs. Okay, so it's starting with 5, so we're gonna have to count up. Let's go at the very beginning and see if that helps us find what comes after 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what comes after 9? 10. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. Okay, please stand for the flag salute. Put your right hand in the air, in the air. Put your right hand in the air, in the air. Put your right hand on your neck. Put your right hand on your belly button. Put your right hand on your heart, thump, thump. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, soldiers. Hey, we're gonna count all the way to Wacky Wednesday. So make your buds and then make them bloom every time we count. We don't have to count too much because we're still at the beginning of the month. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, different ways. 6, 6, 3 and 3, 4 and 2, 5 and 1. Okay, we have our pattern. Let's see if you can take a guess. I bet you can guess what it is. Yellow, yellow, red, red, purple. What would be next? We have 2 colors of each flower. Yellow, yellow, red, red, purple. What do we need another one? I knew you knew it. Purple. 6. Woo! Guess what else, friends? I missed a birthday. Raider, happy birthday on Monday. I hope it was fantastic. I miss you. Happy birthday. Okay. Actually, let me sing. Let's sing, Raider. Let me get my hat on. Okay. It's a 1. It's a 2. It's a 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Raider. Happy birthday to you. And many more on Channel 4 and Frankenstein on Channel 9. Oh my goodness. Frankenstein on Channel 9. I haven't sang happy birthday in a while. And all the rest on CBS. I know I'm missing one though. Sorry, Raider, I totally screwed your birthday song up. I'm sorry. I missed your day too. Okay, moving on. Today is Wacky Wednesday, May 6, 2020. 2020. Okay, we need to put a tally mark. We have to do something today. Yesterday, we had 4 tally marks in our bundle. What do we do on day 5? Whoop! That's right, we have to bundle it up, cross it out. Let's put that there. Whoop! We're going to count by 5s. When you get to the 125, you're going to, here we go, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 125 days of school. 125. That's a lot of days. Let's write that out. I forgot to erase this again. Okay, 125. So we need how many 100s? 1. And then 25. 20 is a 2. Whoa. 125. There we go. Did I mess up? What's wrong with this? Man, got in a hurry again. Did it backwards. Thanks for telling me. 125 days smarter. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather out today? Go look out the window. Tell me, preschoolers, what's the weather? What's the weather out today? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it rainy? Is there snow? Tell me, preschoolers, what's the weather? What's the weather? Do you know? What is it today? It's kind of cloudy, a little rainy. What do you think? I think, should I put rainy? Should I put cloudy? Decisions. Maybe I'll just put rainy up there. And if it doesn't really do it the rest of the day, then we'll change it tomorrow, okay? We'll talk about that. All right. Rainy on the weather graph. It is 2 sunny days, 1 rainy day. Or we'll change it to cloudy. We'll see what happens. Okay, for days of the week, We need to do a voice. Should we be whales? And then we'll go spout, spout, because that's how they breathe. They blow the water out when they're done with it. Are you ready? Get your whale voices. They're really big. Days of the week, spout, spout. Days of the week, spout, spout. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, spout, spout. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, spout, spout. Days of the week, spout, spout. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, spout, spout. What is today? Garbage truck day. Wacky Wednesday. What was yesterday? Cinco de Mayo. Did you have Taco Tuesday? So, yeah, Tuesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. So Tuesday, Wednesday, what will tomorrow be? Thursday. Can you believe that we've already been through a whole nother week of school almost? It goes so fast. Okay, it is still spring. Let's change the sunny to some rainy. Do y'all see my pretty pictures over here? I've got Aspen's beautiful drawings, Emmeline's, Aurora, Samson gave me a postcard, Alexander drew me this, and Alana made me this, and Aliana came by and she surprised me with some flowers. Thank you everyone for all of the special things that you've been sending me and giving me. It makes my day so much brighter knowing that you're thinking of me, because I think of you all day long. Okay, moving along, we are going to shift directions. We've been talking about the ocean. We've been talking about the waves and the water. How many oceans are there? Do you remember? 5. There's 5 oceans. We have the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and the Arctic. That one's the cold one. Okay? So we've got our oceans. Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, Arctic. Burr, burr, burr. Okay, now, we talked about the water. And is the water just regular, fresh water? No. Ocean water is salty. Salt comes, though, from rocks. Okay? Do we drink that water? No, it'll make us sick. And there's sand mixed into it. Speaking of sand, what is sand made out of? What do the waves help crunch up? Rocks. Sand is made out of rocks. Now, with that, are rocks and shells the same? No, they are not. Rocks are rock. They're a hard material. Now, shells, they are made out of a calcium substance. It's you know how we have a skeleton in our body? We learned about our skeleton in October. And our skeleton is made out of calcium. Okay? Now, some animals have exoskeleton shells. Exo meaning it's on the outside. Okay? Insects have an exoskeleton shell, and some sea creatures have exoskeleton shells, like snails and crabs and things like that. Now, when they shed their shells, because they're getting too big for their house, and so they've got to find a bigger house. So you have to go find another shell that someone else got out of that would fit them. So they drop their exoskeleton shell and go find a new house. But these shells, if they don't get taken by another animal, because they're like really good hiding spots too, sometimes they'll wash up onto the shore and by the waves, and you can find these on the beach. Okay? Now, shells. I have a science experiment for you about shells, because they come in all shapes and sizes and colors. Let me show you a few that I have actually. Okay, well, look at that. Sometimes they're bumpy, sometimes they're smooth, sometimes they're dark colored, sometimes they're light colored, sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're stripes, sometimes there's dots. Look at this one. Isn't this cool? That's how they get in. There's the little hole. Yeah, I think shells are so cool. Look at this. That's how they get in. Okay, science experiment. If you have some shells lying around your house that you're not using and you don't care if one gets destroyed a little bit, you get 2 jars. Okay, 2 jars. You're gonna put 1 shell in each jar. I don't have another jar on me. So what you do is you would take your shell and you would put 1 shell in each jar. Fill 1 jar with seawater, meaning 1 cup of water and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Stir to dissolve. Kind of like when we made our saltwater experiment on Zoom on Monday, like that. Okay, so you're gonna put 1 in salt water, and then the other one you're gonna fill with vinegar. Make sure it covers the shell, and so it's submerged, it's sunk to the bottom, and let it sit. And I want you to observe. I want you to draw a picture of what you see happening with the 2 jars. Put them outside, because the one with vinegar is gonna be a little bit stinky, and you don't wanna stink up your house. So do this experiment outside. See what happens to the shell. See if it stays the same, like in the salt water. See what happens. Be scientists. And then we'll talk about it tomorrow, okay? And we'll see if you got the results. All right, moving along to coral. Coral. I got a little informational story here about coral. Now, the biggest place you can find coral is the Great Barrier Reef. And guess what? It's located on our last continent that we're going to be studying this month, Australia, down under. Yep, a coral reef. And this is called the Great Barrier Reef. And it's in Australia, and it's home to many sea animals. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest reef in the world. Tiny. Okay, before I read that part, people want to know, is coral a rock? Is coral a plant? Or is coral an animal? It's hard like a rock, but it's not a rock. It's planted down into the sand like a plant, but it's not a plant. Guess what it is? They are tiny animals called coral polyps, and they build a coral reef. Each polyp builds a wall around itself. When the polyp dies, the wall is left behind, and the reef grows into many shapes. Okay, So the salt, the sodium in the water, the salt in the water helps turn coral hard. So when they die, when the polyps die, the wall's left behind. It's a hard, crystally, crunchy calcium wall, which is what forms the coral plant, but it's not really a plant. The coral, excuse me. Many animals live in the coral reef. Some use camouflage to stay safe. Their colors match the colors of the coral. This helps them hide. Look at the 3 pictures. Can you find the yellow? Zoom in on here. Okay, can you see the yellow seahorse? You see it right there? It looks just like coral, but it's not. There's the eyes, there's the nose, and it comes down. And next, do you see the red starfish? Do you see the red starfish? There it is. Last one. Do you see the striped fish, or does it just look like plants? Look at that. They're going up and down. Their eyes are facing down and their tails are facing up. Pretty cool, right? Camouflage. Coral reef. Okay, let's see what else we've got in here. Yep, we're going to be learning way more about the coral reef when we start studying Australia. But I wanted to just let you know that coral is not a rock. It is not a shell. I mean, it kind of is a shell because it forms kind of a hard shell on the outside, but it is indeed an animal. Speaking of animals, it's a shell and it's an animal. This is another favorite books by one of my favorite authors, another Eric Carle book. It's called A House for Hermit Crab. Let's read it. Time to move, said Hermit Crab one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the ocean of the floor. The floor of the ocean. But it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. Oh, what if a big fish comes along and attacks me? He thought. I must find a new house soon. I wonder what he's going to find. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. The shell was big and strong, and he moved right in, wriggling in and wriggling about inside to see how it felt, and it felt just right. But it looks just so plain, thought Hermit Crab. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. Oh, how beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live on my shell, on my house? It's so plain, it needs you. I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone, and gently Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. Oh, he's jazzing up his shell. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor. "Arr," said Hermit Crab, "would one of you be willing to decorate my house?" "I would," signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked up the sea star with his claw and put it on his house. So here, what month are we in now? January, February, March, April, May. Oh, it's our month. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and they didn't move. "How pretty you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to make my house more beautiful?" "I would," creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. May, June. June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. "How tidy and hard-working you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and help me clean my house?" "I would," offered one of the snails. And happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to protect my house?" "I would," a spiky sea urchin said, and gratefully Hermit Crab used his claw to pick up the sea urchin and place it near his shell. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. "Oh, it's so dark here," thought Hermit Crab. "How dim it is," murmured the sea anemone. "How gloomy it is," whispered the starfish. "How murky it is," complained the coral. "I can't see," said the snail. "It's like nighttime," cried the sea urchin. What can they do to help brighten it up? In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. "Oh, how bright you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. Swish, swish, swish. A lanternfish, it's going to light up the way. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearranged you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw, and he built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect." Yay! But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Do you grow too? Yes, you have to get new clothes and new shoes because you don't fit in them anymore. He needed to find another bigger home. He had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. "Oh, they've been so good to me," thought Hermit Crab. "They're like a family. How could I ever leave them?" Oh, so sad. In December, a smaller Hermit Crab passed by. "Oh, I've outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "Well, I've grown out my house too," answered the Hermit Crab. "I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends." "I promise," said the little crab. How exciting. Well, that worked out for the girl, didn't it? She's got a beautiful house. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in that little shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell. It looked, well, a little plain, but sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. Did he stay sad for long? No, he's on to a new adventure, a new chapter in his life, a new house for Hermit Crab. I hope you enjoyed that story. I love that story. Okay, tomorrow will be our last day of the week, studying more about the ocean and the parts of it. And then next week, we're going to study ocean animals, and we're going to start learning about Australia and the coral reefs. All right. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I hope it clears up and gets beautiful. I know it's going to be beautiful this weekend. For kind of feel like some summer weather, I think, this weekend. We'll talk to you tomorrow.